you ever had a hotel dream? A long hallway, endless hotel dream? Welcome back to the Earth Hotel. This podcast is a variety show for any vacancy you might feel in your skull. In an infinite hotel that's infinitely booked, when you show up, we must find you a room. A German mathematician called David Hilbert imagined this in 1924 as a thought experiment. If you have a guest that shows up at the front door of this infinite hotel, you can't go to the top floor and find them a room. It would take forever to get there. So you move everyone over. Just one room. N+1 is the formula that he came up with. And that is my formula for art. N is what we start out with, the elements at play. Me and you. +1 is the muse. It's the god that Homer prayed to. It's a guiding force of some kind. That might know the future. And so we follow it into the future. We follow it through a hallway with swinging doors. Where we go in dreams, in out-of-body experiences, in comas, places where we lose time, things that we can't explain that happen to us. These places are corridors off of an endless hallway of rooms. Some of these rooms are terrible and soul-destroying, and you do not return from them. And some are fascinating and glorious and hold secrets that you couldn't think up. Some allow you a glimpse outside of this limited space. We live among this place, sometimes returning to old spaces and always seeking out a newer home in which to thrive. This show is an exploration of some of these places we can reach. I speak to artists and musicians and thinkers, creators, and people reaching in the void. People who have intense dreams. My name is Jackie Cotillard. Right now I'm 22 years old. This is the Earth Hotel Podcast, year 71. We will start with an invocation, followed by an unreleased party track from a far industrial corner of the plain. This is an 8-part show, a variety show. After this little opening sound, I'll answer some viewer mail, debut new material that has been submitted to me, and have an interview with Giant Sunbeam and the Noise, which is a local noise jazz band who break brains. I'll talk about some personal topics and share some stories that I've been researching lately. So join me. And as Homer said, but not how he said it.
O divine poesy, goddess daughter of Zeus, sustain for me the song of the various-minded man, who after he had plundered the innermost citadel of hallowed Troy, was made to stray grievously about the coasts of men. The sport of their customs good or bad, while his heart through all the seafaring ached in an agony to redeem himself and bring his company safe home. Vain hope for them, for his fellows he strove in vain, their own witlessness cast them away, the fools, to destroy from meat the oxen of the most exalted sun. wherefore the sun god blotted out the day of their return. Make the tale live for us in all its many bearings, O Muse.
Walking through the Union Shop Dance Club, an intersection of work and play amongst the hallways. Early morning fun, no? It's 6:25 a.m. here, and the sun is just coming up. This is episode number 7, For those that listened to essentially season 1 of this, I had to defrag and reconfigure my mental hard drive in order to access the outside world again and continue living. But stepping ahead and damming the loose ends that I've had to leave behind for now, I have decided on a formula. Each of these shows have 9 parts, and the composition of each episode is chosen at random using an 8-sided die and a flipped coin. So I have 16 options, such as a live reading or live improvisation. Each 9-part episode allows for a fluid, self-determining kind of style. I could podcast for the rest of my life and never run across the same format. Behest to no committee or producer, only to chance and my following of the directives. So this time, today, we have the members of Giant Sunbeam and the Noise, Montevallo's newest and noisiest jazz ensemble, with music and words and conversationing, and interest stories for the remote viewers of the listenership. Stay where you go next. We're going to answer some viewer mail. This segment is an open call for questions. Submit your question at the Earth Hotel Podcast on Facebook, and I will provide you with some kind of oblique answer for your needs of knowledge. Don't be afraid. From Mr. Weems in Birmingham, he asks, is the bird really the word? Now, for a minute, I didn't want to answer this question. Surfin' Bird, that song that you all know, is a song, and it's also the name of the album that featured that hit single. It's actually a cover of 2 different songs, conflated and put together. The Trashmen had not heard this version, but saw a band called the Sorensen Brothers playing it. They decided to play the song that night at their own gig. During this first performance, drummer and vocalist Steve Yore stopped playing and ad-libbed the Surfin' Bird middle section, despite not knowing the Bird's the Word was a Rivington song. The similarity to Papa Uma Mau Mau was obvious, and the Trashmen added the chorus to the end of their new track, because you could just do that back then. A local disc jockey was at the gig and convinced the band to record the track. It was recorded at K-Bank Studios in Minneapolis, and won 2 Battle of the Bands competitions regionally and statewide, and the group was signed to Garrett Records, with the single being released quickly after that, and sold 30,000 copies in its first weekend, before going on to national success, reaching number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. Eventually, the Rivingtons were all credited as writers after the group successfully sued the Trashmen for plagiarism. Well, no shit. So I looked up the album, and I'll read the track listing because there are several interesting things on here. Number 1 is Surfing Bird, then King of the Surf, Henrietta. Miserlou, which is a song that was not written by Dick Dale. I am seeing Milton Leeds, Nicholas Rubanis, Bob Russell, and Fred Wise on Miserlou. Malagueña, which was a song that I played in the marching band once upon a time. It's So Easy is a Buddy Holly song. Side 2, Tube City, My Woody, Bird Bath, Cook, it's K-U-K, Money, that's what I want, and Sleeper. So if that answers your question, then the word of the bird of the day is plagiarism. no, one. And now, Giant Sunbeam and the Noise with Montevallo. Kirsten Shaw, trumpet and vocals, Ryan Brown, bass guitar, Chris Connor, drums, and Trent Tidwell on electric guitar. Welcome them. Do it now, right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay!
This is, you guys are the best Giant Sunbeam and the Noise cover band I've ever seen.
Nice.
How do you do what you do?
Well, first we listen to all their albums.
All of
And
the
then,
albums.
yeah. And like we go through all their like rehearsal tapes and
The
Every single,
rarities,
we've all like heard every single minute of.
of everything they've done. Yeah.
the bootlegs.
We're avid fans, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Traded cassette tapes.
Well, no. We usually cassettes.
Actually, every cassette tape,
Actually,
every
all the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
we do them.
why did you do that?
I've just been wanting to be in a band for a really long time. And people always let you down. And then one day I was at Eclipse and I got really drunk and I was like, "Hey, Chris,
Crap.
I want to be in a band." I was like basically crying. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody lets me down.
Because I play in another band called Kahaba,
Drop the name.
and wanting to do something to like make money and not have a job, because that would be rad. And so we were trying to like make a jazz combo that could play at like brunch
Oh, yeah.
and like for rich people.
Yeah.
You know, for like
$1,000 tips.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
whole other thing.
And so we were like learning, like halfway learning like jazz tunes, and then we talked to Trent about it, and then the more we talked about it, we were like, well, maybe we should do funky stuff also.
Yeah, well,
Ding, ding, ding.
because me and Ryan have been playing in jazz band together
Yeah.
in high school for a long time, so we know all the jazz like
Stuff.
we know about it and how to so we're trying to, and it's an elegant thing, and people will pay certain people pay a lot of money
Yeah.
for like jazz or the appearance of jazz.
Yeah.
But
It's a pain to get together.
yeah,
Yeah, like,
Everybody let you down.
because that's like, we've also, me and Trent have been playing for a long time.
yeah, we've been playing together since 8th grade.
Yeah.
They can read each other's minds.
Yeah.
First band.
It's beautiful.
It's really fantastic.
Someone played guitar and sang in that. No, you just sang in the Newfound.
The Newfounds.
Oh, boy.
I really didn't want that part of this world, but that's fine. It is. It's reality.
We have to talk about our classic rock cover band.
Yeah. Well, I kind of feel about that the way that I do about every band that tried to be a band in like the 60s and 70s. Like they all were top 40 cover bands.
And then they started doing their own.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Page was playing skiffle
Right.
music.
So we all had to serve somebody.
Yeah.
And we were angsty enough, and I mean, there are a lot of places we could have gone with it, but we
Oh, yeah.
tried to. I think we tried to find some intensity. We tried
Oh,
to find
yeah.
the most intense numbers that we could try
Oh,
to do.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
there, I don't look at it in a negative way at all.
It was, yeah. It was very.
Is that floating around on the internet anywhere?
No.
Okay.
no.
We didn't
I
have
have-
The
recordings.
song is on iTunes.
Don't
What?
tell them that.
Devin's.
Oh yeah, there's not. Yeah, he
There's
wrote
no,
us.
yeah, it's just a guitar part.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We had a song on iTunes for a while about Jesse James. That was the first lyric that I'd written for People, which is cool. I still got
Oh.
that lyric.
I actually really liked that. I haven't
It was cool,
remembered it.
but
That was
yeah,
fun.
there was
That's
that.
fun.
I've still
Yeah.
got demos that I did because I remember very distinctly. I got you in the hallway in high school, and I told you that I was going to do a blues album,
Yes.
and I've still got like 3 songs of that I cut from singing like a fake blues voice.
Yes.
They're pretty solid songs, but I'd never.
You should heavily edit those with like video editors or something like sonically.
Like some
What do you
crazy.
mean?
Yeah, so we tried to do the thing.
Yeah, we're trying to do
Yeah.
jazz stuff, and I didn't. I was just playing with my guitar and my amp for the first probably like 3 practices.
Yeah.
And then Ryan like convinced me to bring my pedal board, which is huge.
It's giant.
Like, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
3 feet by 1.5 feet. And then when I brought that, you can't resist stomping on everything.
Yeah,
And
right.
it turned into
This.
the noise.
I think like we tried to make it happen for a long time, and then Kirsten talked to Chris, and then Chris was, we'd always like put it off, like, well, maybe we can rehearse at this time, and Chris was like,
Chris
what are you
saved the
doing
day.
on Saturday?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Solid,
He's
yeah.
the most gung ho.
You have to schedule things.
You gotta
the
make
man
it
with
They
the
don't
plan.
just happen.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
This was like,
April.
yeah, it was like in April.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the first person I'd ever come up to with the same sob story. He was actually sympathetic. He was like, dude, I feel you. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been itching to play some music for a while, so.
Yeah.
Ratchet. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So how many shows is that since then? I've been to
3 at a
Three.
clips.
No,
Three
2 at Eclipse.
Two.
two at Eclipse and then the house show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
almost a house
And then
show.
another house show.
Almost a house show.
And then a half a house show.
Yeah.
And then and then a
Okay.
jam session.
So you've covered Take 5 at
Yeah.
Eclipse, and you had a girl from Ipanema,
Yeah.
a couple
Mhm.
places. What's your set?
We play Funky Duck by Wolfpack,
Mm-hmm.
which
But
they're
we don't
kinda-
play it anything like them.
We don't play it anything
It's
like them
great.
at all. It is, but
Yeah.
By Noise Peck.
Play I Know You Know by Esperanza Spalding.
some Gimme All Your Love. That was like a new thing.
By
Uh-huh.
the Shakes.
You've
Bada-
done
bada
Beatles.
shakes.
Yeah.
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 We're
We're,
this Giant Sunbeam and the Noise covers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
we're
Well,
working on this.
obviously.
it's kind of hard to put together.
Yeah.
It's almost like we're doing it in real time.
Yeah.
You having a Spaceballs moment where you turn around and then you see yourself.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. It is.
You're watching yourself on a screen.
Yeah. Yeah, but we have 2 originals. We have a lot of like little things.
Dumped like all of my Ableton saves from my computer onto our cloud
Mhm.
Joint. Yeah.
drive. So
There's mining involved.
We're working.
Yes. We are
Yeah.
minors.
Because we have there's
No, you're all of age.
Yeah,
but
I can't-
you're
Oh,
minors.
yes, we are.
oh yeah.
We are.
It's really cool because like sometimes you'll have like the songwriter for a thing, but we have 2 finished songs and 1 that's almost done, and then a bunch of pieces, but like everyone has written
Yeah, we're all the
either
songwriters.
lyrics or melody lines.
Pretty awesome. There's one song where it's like Chris wrote like the first part, and then he wrote the second part, and I wrote the third part.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all played a show with Joel Nelson, and anybody that's listened to these podcasts knows him.
Yeah.
And that was his last show
Yeah.
here before he moved to
Woo!
Berkeley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sorry, Oakland.
that was so much fun.
Yeah, he went to
I
Oakland.
love playing with Joel so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he sat in at the house show that wasn't a half house show.
Yeah.
Yes,
At
the
the
real
full
one.
house show.
Yeah.
A full.
And you showed
It
up
was
late to the
very
set.
fun.
He was like,
I never
"Oh,
played part of it.
I missed you guys." Yeah, and then he was in it. That was
So
great.
fun. Thank you for your facilities, for your guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Use for that. Also
Oh,
for
yeah.
introducing us to Joel. I think right. That was our first.
So I've played with Joel before.
Yeah, but that was me.
Chris is-
Yeah, we didn't play with Chris or Joel until.
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
For the Tequila Mockingbird show.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
remember
Played-
that pun yesterday.
Yeah, we played in the
Yeah.
That was fun.
the ensemble show.
Tequila.
Yeah, it's a year ago today that we did the high note. Right?
And walked off with the loops.
Yeah.
That was really
Sorry about
good.
that.
That was great.
Yeah, I covered The Residents' Tourniquet of Roses.
Oh, that was so much fun.
And it ends with There is no more to say, there is no more to say on a loop. And so I
Oh, yeah.
I
Yes,
layered
no.
vocals. An Allen Ginsberg
Skeleton.
performance.
Leave
Yeah.
my bones alone.
Yeah, he
That was
recorded an
great.
album in the 90s.
Didn't we play the Super
I jammed
Bowl
out pretty
also?
hard to that.
I
did.
think that was not at the high note,
Did we do-
but somewhere else.
We did
We
Bowie.
did that one together. Superman by Bowie.
Mhm.
Baby's on Fire.
Yeah. Cities.
Mm.
Talking Heads.
Played Animals at one point. I played Animals.
Yeah, we did Animals a couple
Yeah.
times, me and you. Montague Terrace in Blue by Scott
Oh, yeah,
Walker.
that was so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I thought that was just a hubris. I want to do this thing. That's good. Glad to know people liked it.
I love that you incorporate people on the fly. I really enjoyed doing that interpretive dance as the Black Swan lady
Oh yeah.
at Eclipse.
At
I
the-
really
yeah.
enjoyed doing that. And Oliver, the lead singer of Cahaba, was one of my backup ballerinas.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful.
He stepped up. Both y'all stepped up.
On its toes and everything, man. It
Mhm.
was crazy.
Yeah, that was the Hypnocracy not a dress rehearsal, but a test run at Eclipse.
Was that the one with the Lego head?
No,
Lego head shows
That was
up.
like a long time.
that was an open mic night.
That was.
Yeah, that was a. Everybody knows it's me, but I'm gonna pretend it's not
That
me.
was so
This
Ah.
moment.
That made
Yeah.
me so happy. That show made me.
Scrummy.
I was like, yes, Jackie.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
That's
you.
great.
So what's your next move?
Man.
Our next move is to
Sell out.
Sell out.
The
Sell
BJCC.
Give us money, please.
South by Southwest.
I love Acura. Acura is my favorite brand.
Yes.
Acura is the best. I watch it on Acura.
Yes, while I'm using my Crest White strip.
Hit me up. Oh, I want to work for Sarah Nissan. Come on down, Sarah, dang old Toyota.
Like,
We
Jones,
gotta
big
give up
ass.
on that. We gotta make our sound more applicable to everyday.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
gotta be more, like, relatable.
You're talking about adding a band.
Yeah,
Do you know how
Dang
big a bus is?
old.
just like Mumford and Sons, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Wait,
the
you
game.
make it big?
Yeah.
Is do exactly what these guys are doing.
Yeah, when
Give
you
us
get
some
big.
damn money, yeah.
Do some commercials,
Yeah.
go to Florence.
until
play a
then,
show.
then we have a show in Florence
Yes,
on
at the
Saturday.
Underground Art and Sound.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kirk Russell. Yes, he plays in like basically every band in Florence,
most of the
and he
bands.
also manages. Yeah, he manages a underground record store in Florence. Underground Art and Sound. A buddy of mine.
Bomb. Do you guys want to take a break and come back? Or do you want to keep talking?
Yeah, I gotta poop.
Okay. Giant Sunbeam in the noise. Sunburned hand on the man. We'll be right back. Sierra Nissan of Sylacauga, Nissan dealer in Sylacauga, Alabama. A new Nissan dealership in Sylacauga, Alabama, serving Birmingham, Hoover, Tuscaloosa, and Montgomery, Alabama, with used cars, Nissan service, and genuine Nissan parts. If you're looking for a new Nissan dealer with used cars near you, look no further than Sierra Nissan of Sylacauga in Alabama, serving Birmingham, Hoover, Tuscaloosa, and Montgomery, Alabama. Our dealership is fully capable of meeting all your automotive needs under one roof. Whether you're looking to buy a new car, finance your purchase, have your vehicle serviced or repairs, or buy genuine Nissan parts, our commitment is to provide exceptional customer service before, during, and after the sale. And if you'll take a moment to check our customer testimonials, you'll see how far we've succeeded in doing just that. Here's the customer testimony. This is the Nissan promise.
We got value. We got selection and an unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. That's the Sarah. It's our Sarah promises. It's our promise to you as our valid customer. It's peace of mind and our promise that any of our dealerships you'll find exactly what you need. Exactly. From friends and from neighbors, you can trust the road ahead. Our family serving your family, being served by our family since, you know.
That's Sarah Nissan. That's at 80 James Payton Boulevard, Sylacauga, Alabama, 35150. What is that again? Sylacauga, Alabama, 35150, 256-369-0212. Come on down and buy cars. I'm using that. Thank you.
Everything to do
The
with
show that has everything to do with nothing.
That's beautiful.
Think he's not a thing?
I do.
Because obviously he's very successful.
But so is Charles Manson.
He sells records too.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Check out Trees. It's really creepy.
Oh.
It's unsettling.
Oh boy.
Because he wanted to be
I
a
like
folk
Trees.
singer. He wanted to be like the Beach Boys, and he was working with one of the Wilsons to cut a record, and that's
What?
part of how that whole thing. That was part of the dynamic of.
Ryan
Yeah, I
is.
think it was
His
Brian
mouth is agape right
Yeah.
now.
I am flabbergasted.
He is speechless.
Yeah, that's a whole story. Let me pull this story up. Dennis Wilson met Charles Manson hitchhiking, and then introduced him to a few friends in the music business, including the birth producer Terry Melcher, whose home at Cielo Drive would later be rented by director Roman Polanski and his wife, actress Sharon Tate. Obviously, they would be murdered later at that place.
Oh my.
I
some of-
just ruined it for me.
Some of Manson's songs, I know.
Yeah.
Some of Manson's songs would be recorded at Brian's home studio. These sessions for Manson were produced by Brian and Carl, not Dennis. Dennis recorded a Manson song for the Beach Boys, originally entitled Cease to Exist, but reworked as Never Learn Not to Love. 1968, a single B-side. It was credited solely to Dennis. Angered by this, Manson threatened him with murder. According to the Beach Boys collaborator Van Dyke Parks, quote, one day Charles Manson brought a bullet and showed it to Dennis, who asked, what's this? And Manson replied, it's a bullet. Every time you look at it, I want you to think how nice it is your kids are still safe. Well,
Trent
Dennis
is also
grabbed
a gay.
Manson. Well, Dennis grabbed Manson by the head and threw him to the ground and began pummeling him until Charlie said, ouch. He beat the living shit out of him. How dare you, was Dennis's reaction. Charlie Manson was weeping openly in front of a lot of hip people. I heard about it, but I wasn't there. The point is, though, Dennis Wilson wasn't afraid of anybody.
As Dennis became increasingly aware of Manson's volatile nature and growing violent tendencies, he finally made a break from the friendship by simply moving out of the house and leaving Manson there. When Manson subsequently sought further contact and money, he left a bullet with Dennis's housekeeper to be delivered with a cryptic message, which Dennis perceived as a threat. In August 1969, the Manson family members perpetrated the Tate LaBianca murders. For the remainder of his life, Dennis would not speak publicly of his involvement with the Manson family, telling prosecutors that he knew nothing of the killings or Manson's motives, as he was frightened of Manson getting out of jail or putting out a hit on him. Yeah, so
And
there's
there's
a
the
lot
news.
of that. Mhm. That's what
Oh my
happened.
god.
It's real?
Yeah, it's on Wikipedia. Of course it's real. It's good copy.
Come on.
Yeah.
More accurate than a book thesaurus, right?
Very
Yeah,
specific.
let me look up some of Manson's music because let's see if he sues me.
That'd be cool because then you could say you got sued by Charles Manson, just like Ryan got blocked on Twitter by.
Well, he's getting out of jail soon,
Dan
so I
Harmon.
feel like
Dan
I could.
Harmon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to do
Fame.
something about that.
It's the best
Yeah.
way
I
to
I think
name
that's
drop.
why I want to get known, better known, so
Yeah.
we can get you on block.
So I can
Yes.
free my boy Ryan.
I think I want to have add Ryan back tour. I don't know. We could change the name, but just the whole tour is for Dan Harmon.
Dan,
Wait, what happened?
pay attention to
Explain.
me. So, the creator of Community and co-creator of Rick and Morty, Dan Harmon, he was like,
Peace among worlds.
so apparently he has a Twitter, and so he was tweeting about being on an airplane, and then he got increasingly drunk on
Obviously
the airplane,
drunk.
and then he was just shit faced tweeting about how drunk he was, and then he somebody said something to him, and he got really pissed about it. And
Was
then,
that someone you?
No.
Okay.
No,
Harmon Delete Fest was
there's a Harmon Block.
Blockfest.
Harmon Block 2016.
Yeah, Harmon Block.
That's what it was. And so people were trying to calm him down over Twitter, which is so funny
Putting your
to talk about. It's
Calm down, dude.
calm down.
Look
it's
at me.
It's okay. Look at me. Yeah. And so and then people started making fun of the people trying to calm him down.
Oh man.
And that was me. and so people were somebody tweeted something at him, and then he would and then people tried to calm him down, and this one guy in particular quoted his tweets, roasted him in 20 different tweets. He just said
Oh
some
my
crazy
God.
shit about this person that he didn't know, and then I was making fun of one of the people trying to justify it or something,
right.
and he replied to me and some other dude and was like, "You're just mad because a pot of coffee doesn't make you anything," or something like that. It was really silly. And
Very Rick of him to say. It
and
was very
then-
Rick.
And then he blocked me.
It's cool that you actually spoke to Dan Harmon. Well, he spoke to you.
You interacted.
Yeah. He noticed me.
Notice me.
Dan Harmon is who
I got blocked by Bakun.
No.
Oh no!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, now I don't see any of Bakun's
Why?
tweets. Yeah, I don't. I replied to some 3 tweets within 2 days or something, and
Oh no.
yeah, I wasn't funny enough for him. I
Oh,
guess.
no.
So going back to Charles Manson for a minute,
Oh boy.
I'm looking up his albums on Napster, which exists again.
I got it.
It was
Oh.
Napster, then Rhapsody, and then Napster again. and
Those
now
are
it's
the same
Napster.
thing.
They are now.
Oh.
Sonny Boy.
Everybody's buying out everybody.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, we got to talk about Monsanto and
Bear,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man, is this the end time or what? But anyway, there's a band called the La Biancas with an album and a song, a single.
Labias?
The La Biancas,
Oh.
as in the people that were murdered by Charles Manson.
Oh.
And they have an album and a
Excuse
song
my
called
chortle.
Charles Manson is Jesus Christ.
Oh.
So, provocateur, fuckers, whatever. So here's Air by Charles Manson. Does he sing on this?
Oh my god, it's got a goat head. for the album cover.
There's a lot of stuff going on. So there's that. Yeah. So
Beautiful.
Just Love Someone
Yeah.
on Inner Sanctum by
Charles Manson.
By Charles Manson.
You heard it here. This is NPR. We'll be
This
right
is
back.
NPR.
Psychological warfare is what is required now. Once you get up to a certain point, you're not working for money anymore. You're not trading for money or like even resources. You're just trading. You're playing the world game. You're trading power.
Absolutely.
And that's
I
how
think
wars
it's-
get
I think-
started, and that's how all
Yep.
this shit
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Is somebody very powerful. Like, Dick Cheney can't freely walk around Washington. He can't freely
No.
walk around anywhere.
No.
Because in
Yeah.
most places, like, a county sheriff could take him in. Because there's so much evidence in the
Yeah.
world that he's done all these things that unless he's, like, constantly protected in various certain zones where he
Yeah.
can use immunity, he can't travel.
Yeah.
There are, like, 12 countries or something that he just can't enter. Because he's a war criminal.
He is.
Because
Yes.
they will arrest him and President ex-President Bush, like
Oh
the
my
second, like
Really?
W.
That's
could
hilarious.
be arrested in many countries for war crimes, but they just can't afford to like fight the United States on that, so he's not picked up. But like anyone with a badge could pick up Dick Cheney if they got him. Just walking down the
Sign me
street.
up.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
That's me.
Let's go
You
get
know what I
some
mean?
stinking badges.
Yeah, let's get every police department to send 5 guys and just swarm it. You know,
We're coming for you.
I don't know. It's very disturbing.
Well, this is the conspiracy to arrest Dick Cheney show. And
Allegedly.
I'll
Alleg-
allegedly. Yep. No, I couldn't do it because I don't have a badge. So I'll support anybody that wants
Citizens
to.
arrest.
That's not that far out of. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's like-
could, but you
we
would
don't need
open
no
up
stinking
such
badges.
a can of worms on your ass.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they would destroy you.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point.
In a hypothetical situation where this happens.
Right. If
And
anybody
we
did that, yeah.
didn't advocate for it, which
Yeah.
is all situations.
This is most
Yeah.
of them. Yeah.
Well, I want to say I've been telling my friends this, but I want to say it on the air for the record. If I die by questionable means, or if I not pertaining to this situation, I just mean in general for future plans. But I want it if there's no situation where I'm going to end my own life on this planet. So if someone tries to tell you that I died by my own hand, they don't believe it because it's absolutely false.
They are the guilty party.
This is the record for right now. That if something weird
Dick
happens
Cheney
to me,
killed you.
or whatever,
Yeah.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
So I'm glad that was out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Are we gonna roll the dice?
Oh, I don't have dice right now.
Oh, I thought you had like a virtual one on the internet.
No, I've got.
I was so
I've got
confused.
the shit. Well, that was all of the Jackie for this dimension. Let's try a different dimension. One in which that Jackie and friends survived and went on to record this little number later that night. This is entitled The Bee Song, and Kirsten will explain why.
This is the B song in parentheses because when we go, we're taking you with us. Working hard on my buds, racking up all that gold for my beauty queen. Float on wings from the wheat to the seed that is sown. I can get anything except for when you say that you don't need me. I can't understand how you don't. And it stings more than me, more than I ever could. Your neglect and rejection of our place in your world. It's not your world. Gladly working my life away for the world, feeding your energy, and you seem to be scared seeing us in the air. your neglect and rejection of our place in your world. It's not your world.
Here's part of the show where I talk to you. Business. I am playing the Femme Fatales Fest September 23rd through the 25th. So that is today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this weekend. September 23rd at the Spring Street Firehouse, $5 at 8 p.m. Heavy User, Fad, Whirlybird. I've seen them. They're very good. And Hurl Yeah. September 24th at the Desert Island Supply Company. The Nowhere Squares, Rachel Roberts, Spores, Tear Down the Walls, and White Girl Problem are all playing. September 25th, I am playing with the Old Paints, Raquel Lilly and her band, Stephanie Ray, and Ferguson and Walker. I have played with the Old Paints previously. I have seen and played bills with Raquel Lilly before, and this time I am playing a show called Of Whom. And this show is an embryonic culling of future events, future directions that I want to go in, trying to get myself off of the road that I was going on with the Dizzy. Writing-wise, we've written our bit. We're going to write more next year, but I'm trying to change my focus into a newer influence. 2 songs that I'm playing are called Die Story and Every Gun. The chant is everyone a gun for everyone. Come see those. I'll be playing mutilated guitars very loudly, but in a pleasing way, I hope. In that case, September 25th at Seasick Records. I am playing at 2. I can't speak for everyone else. I'm not sure of the schedule then. But that's when I'll be on stage. Giant Sunbeam and the Noise will be at Underground Art and Sound in Florence, Saturday, that's tomorrow, 9 p.m., with Jackson Wynn and RATO Baby, Rato Baby, je ne sais pas, 9 p.m., $5. See them if you happen to be in Florence. The Dizzy is releasing Wrapped in Plastic, and we are having a release soiree at the Syndicate Lounge October 11th. That's going to be a curated event, an Earth Hotel curated event, if I can swing that. 8 o'clock, featuring the comedic talents of your friend, Shaky Toast, and our guests tonight, Giant Sunbeam and the Noise. You can lay hands on our record. The album includes 2 headshots of the band, the screenplay for the Lost Wrapped in Plastic docudrama, the lyric sheets, fit especially on and behind and around vinyl. We have made a series of 100 handcrafted CDs and signed albums for this release, guaranteed to please someone, and that someone should be you, we think. And the Dizzy will be here 2 weeks from now, airing on October 7th. October 21st at Eclipse with Dendera Bloodbath. She is an astounding and electrifying performer out of Atlanta. Dendera Bloodbath recently featured on CNN for testing the first round of Zika vaccines. I'm pulling up the story now, part of the Emory Vaccine Center. So she is one of the first people, one of 80 people who are testing a DNA-based Zika vaccine. Oh boy, not the first injections. Atlanta and Baltimore are also being studied. Yeah, human trials for a Zika vaccine. 17 out of 18 rhesus macaque monkeys were protected from Zika after 2 doses, so I hope Virginia is one of those 17 monkeys. October 21st, she is playing Eclipse with us. The last time I saw her was at the High Note of all places, playing an auto harp, the old-time Grand Ole Opry June Carter strummy instrument, except she sends it through all kinds of nefarious pedals and occasionally strikes it with power tools. October 21st, be at Eclipse. When Giant Sunbeam and the Noise played Montevallo, Joel Nelson played with them, and Joel conspired in Montevallo. He conspired. He played for bands like the Black Power Ranger, Al-Qaeda the Gun. He played for Nina Rat. Nina Rat, he sat in all over the place and did many Noise performances all over town, Noise being extended technique, guitar work, in a setup similar to Fred Frith's, which makes me very happy that he is getting to study under this man. Fred Frith is a rather advanced guitar player. He played for Henry Cow, which is kind of a seminal avant-garde band. Very interesting things. Played for Brian Eno, played for very many people. And he has since gone on to teach in Oakland. Fred Frith created basically homemade guitars that he would lay across a table and then work on. It's basically a hunk of wood that you can do stuff to that's electrified. Using found objects, wood and paper and tools on the strings to work the strings, distortion pedals and delays and electronic bows and real violin bows and all these different things. And it's really quite an astounding thing to do. And if you want an example of it, obviously look it up online. That's Fred, Frith. Or if you want to look back on the first episode of The Earth Hotel, the Ducking Joel performance is a very good indication of what that sounds like. That was one of Joel's performances. The first episode of The Earth Hotel was lost to spectral noise. So that first episode is all performance. So that's enough of all of this talking. Let's do the thing next. Giant Sunbeam and the Noise has a song yet unwritten, and as part of my live readings of material, we're going to return days in the past and revisit that now.
It's a blues song called The Swamp, written by Chris Connor,
Ayo.
our drummer. I'm on my way back down to the swamp. Yes, I'm on my way back down to the swamp that I come from. You better believe that when I get back there, I'm gonna run into Mama's arms, 'cause she's the only gator that can save me.
Come see me on the plains in Kansas. I'll have it waiting on you. You better hope that when you get back here, you don't see Daddy in cold blood. He's the only one who fires first.
I can't catch you in the sea, and got no boat. Someday I'll have the money. You better believe that when I get in the water, I'm gonna be so far away, you'll be the only fish to catch me.
folks, it's been really great this week. We're gonna see you all off and play you a number. Yes, that's right, folks. We're gonna play you off with a little message, a little song. Thanks for listening.